love during lockup. So, girl, let's talk about this mess. Okay. So, Indy, they open up the show with Indy, and Indy is packing up to move to see Harry. Okay. So, she about to pack up all her and her child to head up there to go to Ohio so she can be with Harry. Girl, you better hope it work out. You hear me? You better pray. Okay, girl. She says if she doesn't get everything together, then their relationship could be in trouble. And I'm like, ma'am, I feel like your relationship is already in trouble. Because he didn't even tell you a whole lot about meeting his family. He wouldn't even open up and tell you about the background of his mom and them, because he said his siblings, I believe, as well as his mama, like they on a different level with it, right? They're a different type of breed of people. So, and you don't even have all the details about them, but you hightailing it right on up there, I guess. Anyway, so then Indy, her mom wants to know, like when they in the car and stuff, she's like, girl, what is your plan? Indy ain't got no plan. She ain't got no plan. She just gonna pretty much just go with the flow and wing it when she get up there. And I'm like, okay, then, girl. I guess if you want to be a free spirit in that capacity, then good luck. Okay. So Indy doesn't have a plan at all. She's just ready to get out of Dodge and says that she's just gonna let her spirit guide her. Right. So Harry gives her a call when they're in the car and they're on their way, and she lets him know that, hey, guess what? We about to be there in a little bit. Okay, are you excited? And he's like, yeah, I'm excited. And I'm like, I guess he probably excited that when you find you a place to live, by the time he gets out, he's going to have a home that he probably could probation, parole, or whatever to, right? He's going to have an address on file that he can go to. I think that Harry may go back to the ways that he was when he got in there, but we'll see. All right. We don't know a whole lot about Harry for real. We don't really know his personality, what type of guy he is, even though he has these robbery and kidnapping charges or whatever on him. He could potentially end up being a great guy, right? I don't know. We gonna see. Okay, so there's that. Let's scoot over to Miss Gabby. Okay, so we get to Gabby. Oh, also, let me go back to Indy, because Harry also told her that he'll be getting out in a few days. So it sounds like that was news for her to find out that he'll be getting out in a few days. So there's that, girl. Anyway, so we get to Gabby. Gabby has been working as a bottle service girl at like a strip club or something like that, or at a club or whatever. She says that Chris actually would not like that if he found that out. And I'm like, okay, y'all men that be behind bars be killing me with how y'all, because y'all on lockdown behind the bars, y'all try to sit up here and keep y'all women on lockdown. She ain't doing that for her to be locked down. So why she got to be staying in the house and all that stuff because you got locked up? You want her to be behind closed doors, but no, sir. You did some things to get yourself locked up. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to live my life until you get out. So what's up? Okay. No, ma'am. All right. Anyway, so she says that he sent her about $60,000. And I was wondering, like, how this man got this money to even be sending her anything. And we found out that he ended up getting some type of settlement, I guess, because he ended up getting jumped or something by the guards when he was in prison or wherever he was. So he ended up getting all this money or whatnot, right? And now out of the $60,000 that he decided up here and sent her, she says that she ain't got no money left out of that. What the hell was you doing with it? Out here trying to flex and do all this extra stuff with your friends. And I just feel like she found her a man that was behind bars, right? And I don't know what that was about. Maybe she wanted somebody that was, she knew where they were going to be at all times. But then she also found a man that got some coin while he behind bars. So now it's making me think that that's the only reason that she's really with Chris. And I feel like when Chris runs out of coin, because at some point I feel like he might, she ain't gonna be there for the long haul, right? So we'll just have to see how this gonna play out. But anyway, so she tells her coworker about how her boyfriend's mom told her not to come when it's time for him to get out of jail. He don't want her there. This is what she said. But she also feels like the mama lying, right? And then the coworker said, girl, I don't know if the mama lying, you girl. Like, you sure he ain't got another woman out here? And that's the reason why she's telling you not to show up. So she was like, well, I mean, I don't know, but I will say this, right? It's been a girl that's been reaching out to her, harassing her or whatnot, right? Interesting. So she takes the coworker to the back. They listen to some audio of this girl. Okay. The audio that the girl sent her was the conversation that I'm gonna say girl A, whoever she is, this unknown woman, had a conversation with Chris, and they talked about Gabby and him. And he says that Gabby is not his wife. In so many words, kind of trying to deny the relationship. And you can't come up with an excuse for this, Gabby, because this man is behind bars. So obviously he's calling out to talk to this woman. This woman's not calling in to talk to him. right? Because she can't just call the courthouse and they just gonna put him on the phone, or call the prison or the jail. They just gonna put him on the phone. That's just not how that works. So obviously he is taking the time out of his day to actively call and speak with this woman. Now I don't know if he got kids with this lady, which is why he's calling to talk to her. We don't know that, but what we can confirm is that she got the audio and you know your man's voice, and he's calling her. All right. So yeah, that's enough for a side eye. So he shouldn't be controlling anything or what you out here trying to do when he out here doing whatever he want to do, and he the one that's in lockdown. Yikes. Let's keep going. Right. So she played the audio for the co-worker. But what was interesting to me was seeing Gabby laugh. And I'm like, Gabby, why are you laughing like this is a joke? You look like a fool. What you laughing at? Okay. I don't think nothing is funny about that. That this dude is downplaying the relationship that he has with you as he talks to another woman. Okay. So I'm like, yeah, there's that. So then Gabby goes to her car, right? At some point we see her go to the car. She gives somebody a phone call and she just pretty much talks about how, look, I need to talk to you. And he like, okay, then, well, I mean, you probably can hit me up tomorrow because I got this or that going on, but we can link up tomorrow. So I'm just trying to figure out, who is this man? Who is this man that she done sat up here and called? Is this an ex-boo? Is this a boo you crushing on? Is this just one of your best friends? Is this one of your brothers? Like, who is this man? I feel like the story gets that much more interesting, right? Gets a little more interesting. Sorry, guys, I'm back. It gets a little more interesting, right, to me. Now, let's see. So, Haley, let's get to Haley. All right. So Haley gets to hang out with her coworker, Emily, who I think that Haley is actually attracted to, because she saw her at work. She's like, oh, girl, you cool. You know what I'm saying? You cool or whatever. Like, girl, we should link up. We should be friends. We should hang out. So that's what they end up doing. But because we can see that obviously Emily is a woman that's likely a lesbian, okay, like other women or whatever like that, I feel like Haley may like Emily. She may have a little crush on her, and I feel like that's going to come into play at a later time, right? So she says that she hasn't hung out with anybody because of Dalton and his insecurities. And he's behind bars. Like, what do you mean? And that's the other thing for me too, because I kind of feel like, okay, and with him being behind bars, he ain't got to know everywhere that you go. He ain't telling you everybody he talk on the phone to while he in there, or everybody he writing letters to or emailing or anything, but you feel the need to let him know about all of your whereabouts. Girl, you starting this relationship off wrong already, but good luck. All right. So Haley asked Emily if she would ever date somebody in prison. And Emily said, hell to the no, I would not, because that's not an actual commitment if you ask me. So what I look like going over there trying to date somebody that's already on lockdown, then they over here trying to dictate my life, like your man over here dictating yours. No, ma'am, miss me with it. Now I hear what you're saying, Miss Emily, but some part of me feel like, girl, I wouldn't be surprised if you did at a later time, girl. You may be on this show, enjoy this show for what it is, and then at some point we're probably gonna find out that you done messed around and found you somebody in prison because you want to maintain your coins here on the show. But let's keep going, okay? So she says she doesn't want to oh yeah, so she asked about Dalton, right? So Emily asked if Dalton really knows a lot about her. Like, you sure this time you really want to do? Does he know a lot about you? And then Emily says, well, it was interesting because she didn't really say whether he knew a lot about her, but she talked more so about how he doesn't want her to tell her family more about him. Like, don't tell your family a lot about me, because then they're going to start getting this perception of him, right? Versus, you know, like what I'm kind of like, they're going to see who you is anyway. So, I mean, I guess it wouldn't hurt if she didn't tell them, because that way, you know, when they find out about you and they see how they really feel about you, you can't put that on Haley. That's going to be on you, because the family already see right through you. They not too liking of you at this moment already. Okay. So Emily says, what else? No. Emily says, she says, reverse this situation. This is what Emily is telling Haley. She says, reverse this situation. And if I was the person dating somebody in prison and I was in the same situation as you, how would you respond? Like, what advice would you say? Like, what would you think of me? And then Haley says, I would think that you're stupid. So you would think that she's stupid, but you're going to continue to move forward in your stupid situation and continue to date this man because you yearning for something. Okay, girl, we gonna see, girl. Good luck. I don't think it's been too many marriages on this love during lockup, love after lockup, love before lockup, whatever it is with the lockup. I haven't seen too many successful situations, right? I feel like the only people I can think about that I'm trying to see who was successful. I can't think of no, I don't even want to say Shane in them because that was cringe-worthy. I can't stand Shane's girlfriend. I can't even think of her name. The one that ended up having the extra baby, and I can't stand her. And she talked real slow and ugh. I feel like Lamar and what was it, Angela, Lamar and somebody, I can't think. They were kind of successful, I guess. Kinda, even though she was crazy as hell. Andrea, is it Lamar and Andrea? I can't think of too many people that went on this show and it actually truly worked out for them. We gonna see, child. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's get to Santiba and Tasley. I think that's his name. Or Tallacy. I think it's Tallacy or something like that, right? So he ends up calling her and she tells him about hold on, what? He calls, but then she tells us about at one point when they were dating, he was dating somebody else, right? When they first got to know each other, they were dating someone else. But the more he continued to talk to Santiba, he ended up stopping talking to that other person. And I'm like, you're a fool to believe it. You're a fool to believe if he stopped talking to that other person, because I feel like they still are very much so in communication with each other. But okay, girl. What else? She decides that she's still gonna drive to Florida. After this man told her not to come to Florida, she's still gonna drive to Florida because she feels like even just the hour that I'll get, even though I may drive 9 or however many hours down there to Florida, just to have 1 hour with him to take him from the prison over to the halfway house will be enough for me. And I'm just like, okay, girl, you're going to be stuck down there in Florida looking a fool when you see somebody else probably going to show up to pick him up too. But anyway, so he doesn't want her to come, and she decided she's going to do it anyway. Okay. What else? She lets her mom know that she is heading to Florida to get Tallacy. Her mom looks confused and tells her she's getting way ahead of herself, right? And she asks and how she doesn't want her daughter to hold up. Her mom looks confused and tells her she is getting way ahead of herself. And how does she know if he would want to be with her for real, for real? Like, how are you so sure that you are who he wants, right? So then the mom asked if she sent any money to Tallacy. And then Santiba says that she sent like a few thousands or something like that. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess like I sent a few thousands. So her mama at this point is pissed off and frustrated because she like, I've been giving this girl money. I've been giving money to my daughter, and the money I've been giving her, she's either been using it and not paying me back, or she's been giving it over to him. And that's a problem, right? So you have no issue with giving money to this man, but you can't pay me back my money. We have a problem. Okay. So there's that. Her mom feels like she's trying to buy his love. Right. And Santiba is so gullible. Like, I don't care what you say. This is who I'm going to be with. You're going to have to deal with it. That's who I'm rocking with. I don't really care. I don't care. It is what it is. Right. So she also goes on to tell her mama that she plans on moving down to Georgia to be with him. What a fool. I don't know what kind of conversations y'all having over the phone that makes you think that you need to go ahead and relocate to another state. But okay, girl. So she tells her that she wants to build a future with this guy and that her mind is made up. Okay. And then when it don't work out, you're going to be running back to your mama and she's going to be having to hug you and dry your tears. Girl, I can't. I feel like it could all be so simple, but you rather make it hard. All right. So let's get to Indy again. Indy is with her mom. Her mom shows her the things that she learned about Harry as far as, the charges and all of that stuff. Like, this is the background. This is what we know. Indy says, girl, this information here is old, and she knows all of this information already. And she felt like he was too young at the time anyway. So how her mama trying to play it up and make it seem like he is, Indy feels like, girl, he's no longer that person. Okay, he's no longer that person, so you can let that be what it is, girl. I know all of this and I still don't care. Her mom says that he is very comfortable actually being locked up. Her mom says that she thinks he may be in a gang. He might be affiliated with another group or something. Indy says that he was never in one. He was never in one, and he was young when everything happened, and I'm going to stick beside him, and it ain't nothing that nobody can tell me because I'm going to be with Harry. And that's just what it is that I want to do. I don't care what all he was involved in. I'm just going to be there. Right. So they pull up to a rundown hotel. And this really pissed me off when they pulled up to this rundown hotel. They went inside. The air conditioner unit was jacked up. The room had a stench, an odor, a smell to it. They pull up and the mama and the brother was like, I think that was her brother, was like, girl, you finna have us stay up in this. Whoever the guy was, you finna have us stay up in this. Like, really, we came all the way this way to help you out, relocate you, move you, and you got to stay in this. And she's like, well, that's all I can afford right now. That's all I can afford. Y'all gonna have to deal with it. And I'm like, BIT, I would not have dealt with it. You can stay here, but you can give me my niece, my granddaughter, whoever that is, and we're gonna go find us somewhere else. Okay, you can stay here. Yeah, you can. But we finna go get us at least a 4 or 5 star or some star up the way. We're not staying on this side of town. You should have knew. And that's the problem for me. How do you not get on Google Maps and at least survey the area to see what's going on? Girl, at least get a street view. Okay. And hopefully the street view would have been updated for you. And it wouldn't have been no street view from 2014, 17, 18. You would have got one at least from 2020 to really see what's going on, girl. Okay. No, ma'am, you can stay here. And I really felt the way that she was going to have her daughter staying there. That was a problem for me. I'm like, girl, you should have went and got your money back. Or you should have did something, or not stayed there that day. Like, or stayed there that one day and then went somewhere else. I don't know. But Indy would have stayed. The moral of the story for me is that Indy would have stayed in that hotel by herself. That baby would not have. So there's that. Girl, you don't know what kind of mold up there building all in that old rundown hotel, probably getting that baby lungs and all this stuff. Girl, bye. You can stay. And I don't know, that just really, really, really bothered me. Because it's like, you already dragging this little girl from one state to another state to be with a man that was locked up behind bars. And then now you're not even taking her into consideration because of your money. And I guess it's a little different because I feel like with everybody that did show up, somebody could have pulled together some coins and got y'all in a much better hotel instead of relying and trusting on that thought. Like, I mean, it's just a lack of consideration. So I feel for her daughter. But either way, girl, okay, let's go ahead and move on. Let's get to Ty. Yeah, I'm gonna say Ty. Is it Ty or Ty? I'm gonna say Ty. I don't know her name anyway. So she over there talking to her boss about her date and the date that she went on with old buddy. I forgot his name, the one that she kissed on the first date. Okay, so she gets a call from Heidi, and he says that Boston, the girl that's been blowing up her phone, he says that Boston is tripping and she's bogus. He says that they've been friends for 12 years, right? So it seems like I wouldn't trust Heidi at this point. Heidi is like, you come with too much problems. How you gonna be behind bars and you causing this much issue for me? Okay, that's the reason why I'm talking to somebody behind bars, right? So that it don't be that much of stress that comes with it. And you got somebody harassing me while you behind bars. That's not adding up. First, he tries to say, oh, that's my friend. Me and Boston been friends for 12 years. I don't know why she doing it. Then he tells her, he adds layers onto the conversation more and more, which you would think Ty being an intelligent woman, she would have been like, I'm good, right? But she continues for whatever reason. Anyway, so he says that him and Heidi been friends for 12 years. Then he said he smashed her 4 years ago. Then he said he needed some money, I guess that stimulus money or whatever, and he had to get in contact with her. So she took the stimulus money and sent it to him back in November or whenever, and she sent him like $600 or something like that. And he said, that's it, nothing more, nothing less. Interesting. Okay. Ty wants to know what's the difference between her and her. I mean, her and the other girl. And I'm just like, that is such a childish question to ask to me. I feel like that's what 18-year-olds or teenagers or something like that, maybe even early 20-year-olds ask, what's the difference between me and her? Like, what the fuck? It don't, I mean, what? I just think that's a dumbass question. What's the difference? It don't matter what the difference is. Dudes gonna do whatever it is they want to do. Y'all could be completely polar opposites. One could be better for him versus the other, and it don't matter. They gonna do what they want to do. So why would you even ask that? Like, what's the difference between me and her? Like, what? It don't matter. If you got to tell me what the difference is between me and her, then choose her. Don't choose me. What kind of shit is that? Okay. The fact that he's putting you in a position for you to even have to compare yourself to somebody else, that's stupid. But anyway, so Heidi airs out Boston. Okay. Next thing you know, we see where Heidi says that, okay, first, okay. Heidi says that he really loves her. That's the difference, right? He says he really loves her, then tells her to go to his Facebook so she can hear just how he dragged Boston, right? So he drags Boston, airs her out, calls her out all on Facebook. But while Tay is watching this, I don't know what her name is, y'all. While T is watching this, she is actually getting turned off because she don't like the way that he's airing her out. And I'm like, you should be mindful, because when he's not talking to you anymore, he gonna air you out next. So yeah, yikes. So anywho, later on, we can see where Indy ended up calling her psychic, talking about how everything is going wrong. The hotel is like this, and this is happening, and that is happening, and all this stuff is going on. So then the psychic tells her that the spirit is really testing her and that she needs to be resilient in this moment. I don't know. I feel like, so the spirit's supposed to override how you feeling? Like the spirit's supposed to override your intuition? I don't know, girl. It's Indy leaning too far into the psychic for me. And I'm sure all psychics don't be wrong. They be having points about some stuff, but girl, it's her leaning too much on the psychic for me, and not leaning enough on her own ability to understand, okay, and make sense of situations. I cannot, but good luck. Let's keep going. Max tells his friends about Tara getting out and how she may be adjusting, right? So on last week, we saw where Max ended up calling the jail because he was trying to find out about Tara. Tara done got out of jail, but Tara never reached out to him or contacted him. So he feels like he keep finding excuses for her, saying, oh, well, I just feel like, she's probably adjusting to life, so maybe I need to give her some time, I'm going to be understanding, and maybe she'll reach out and she'll give me a call at some point, right? So Max is now on the phone with a new inmate. Okay, so I think he got a call or whatever. He took that call with a new inmate. This man walked all the way downstairs outside the restaurant across the street to have a conversation with a whole new inmate. Okay, now he says that she has a lot of experience. This particular inmate, I don't even think we got a name. He just says she has a lot of experience as a model and as a dancer. Then he says that, I guess, then he comes back and tells the guys about inmate number 2. I think he said something like she was like a Playboy model or something like that, whatever like that. So there's just that, right? The friends just wants him to be careful and not to be naive. I do not understand what Max is on the search of. At this point, I want to believe that Max is on the search of clout. Max is on the search of attention. Right. And you got a whole girl that you rooming with, that you sleeping with, like that should be your girlfriend. You already got somebody that got your back, but you rather go find these strangers. Now, either you and the girlfriend are in it together just to get on this show for some BS, or this is just all you're doing. Okay, but it's not adding up. But all right, let's keep going. That's just dumb. Let's get back to Haley. So she meets up with her mama and her son, right? And then Dalton calls her, right? And she tells him about her hanging out with her coworker. He says that he had a feeling that she was lying to him. It's the need to be honest with him. That's the thing for me. I'm not saying you should start your relationship off on lies, but he's locked up, girl. Like, did he really need to know that? But anyway. And outside of that, why is he tripping about her hanging out with her homegirl? Like, what is the issue? It's the security that he got going on for me. That's going to be a very physical, emotional, and mentally abusive relationship when he comes out. And you can already see that and how it weighs on her, how much control he has over her, and he's locked up. So imagine what it's going to be like when he's in her presence. Sad. She's gonna be doing so much stuff trying to please him, and none of it's gonna satisfy him, right? So he says that he had a feeling that she was lying to him. He tells her that it's not cool, and he tells her she can't be hanging out when she has a committed relationship. Who said that somebody can't hang out because they got a committed relationship? Like, why? Why can't she hang out? You sound stupid. You say how stupid it is. I think she says that, I gotta have a life too. And he was like, I don't care or whatever. Like, you can't do that because you're in a committed relationship. And why would you do that? Because now I can't trust you because of that. Now I can't trust you. And I'm just like, that's a personal problem that you need to go and work out. You are already moving with the thoughts of not trusting me. The fact that you just automatically had a feeling that I was lying. No, you had an assumption because that's what it is that you wanted to believe. And that's what you were going to continue to believe. And then she just decided to go ahead and confirm it. And it wasn't even that big of a deal to me. But anyway, he gets so upset. And he ends up hanging up in her face, right? I thought that was messed up. Like, how you lose your freedom, but you trying to lock her down. Well, she the one that's free. I can't, but obviously she enjoys it. What a dummy. So then she comes back to the table, talks to her mom or whatever. Her mom is confused on why she's doing this after she tells her mama that he hung up in her face. I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know. It's like she's yearning for love that she obviously didn't get when she was younger, or she's still trying to replace the love that she lost in her kid's dad. Like, girl, I don't get it, but okay. Then we see where Boston ended up posting some pics, nude pics of T on her social media, or either on her boyfriend's social media, somebody's social media page. But the photos that were posted were photos that T sent directly to Hottie. She sent them to Hottie, and then somehow Boston had access to his stuff. She got in, and she ended up posting them. And I'm sure that Boston posted it because she didn't like that Hottie aired her out on Facebook. But Hottie, that is so weird to me. How can you go and air out Boston on your Facebook, and then Boston turn around and got access to your Facebook, and then decided to take pictures of this girl and post them up? That's some weirdo stuff going on, okay? So at this time, T is just like, she gonna beat the girl ass. That's just what it is, okay? So she pulls up on Hottie's cousin. She's talking to her like, yo, I need to know about this Boston chick. Like, you gonna have to tell me something, because this girl don't went and took my stuff and put it on social media or whatever, my dudes or whatever, girl. I would have sued her. Period. Okay. That is definitely some revenge, P. And then you obtained the photos that were not even sent to you. So you went through an illegal process and hacked into somebody's stuff so that you can get these images and then post them up. What a weirdo. So then the cousin says, oh, well, I told him I didn't want to have nothing to do with that, and X, Y, and Z, and ABC, and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, girl, I wouldn't trust the cousin. I'm sorry. And then you act like you don't want to have nothing to do with it. You don't know a whole lot about Boston, but you give Boston a call on the phone. I said, girl, if you're the mutual common denominator, both of these ladies is calling you, reaching out to you, telling you stuff about each other. So, girl, you already caught up in it. There's that. Boston finally pulls up because the cousin told Boston, like, listen, T wants to have a conversation with you, but she wants to do a woman to woman. Boston said, okay, cool, I'm all down for that. As soon as Boston pulls up, we see where T runs outside. I don't know if we're going to see when the ladies get into a rundown for real, but that's just where they at with that. Okay. So I want you guys to leave your thoughts and comments down below on how you felt about the latest episode of Love During Lockup. I must say, whoever thought Love During Lockup was going to give the way that it's giving, and we're not even seeing the prisoners out yet. That's the thing for me. Like, it's totally giving, and the prisoners ain't even out. They not even out yet. That's the thing for me. I'm like, okay, then. So let's see what it's really going to be like when the prisoners come out. Should be even more interesting. Okay. So there's that.